Alright, it is time to go over some quick frogs. I'll have my link and stuff in the YouTube description. First video. I just think this build's really cool, so I wanted to show it off. It's a little bit different probably than what most people are playing. You have your typical tree. You can find that full thing in the POE2 Ninja link. But we are a sorceress. We go heavy defenses. I don't generally use convalescence. I have it turned off right now. I have Ravenous Swarm, Blasphemy, and Withering Presence. Important thing I haven't seen a lot of people doing with the frogs, and I've tested it, is the frogs should be on your Despair. Some people are putting on Elemental Weakness, which I don't really need. I don't use half these skills. You can literally play this build with one button. But having it on Despair, and I have a level 31 Despair on a 19 skill gem. And Impending Doom for map clear. And then if you really want a little bit more damage on bosses, you could use Deliberation or put Deliberation on Essence Drain instead of Chain. I like to use Essence Drain throughout mapping, so we'll finish this map up here. Oh yeah, this is T15 map, fully juiced, triple Abyss, because I like Abyss. Sometimes I go and buy the full tablet for Abyss. You just press the button, Curse explodes. It is a very mana intense build. I've got 1500 mana. I do use my mana pot quite a bit. This is a more fun version of Essence Drain without having to do all the buttons. And it does a lot of damage. Killed all the pinnacle bosses, no problem. I don't take any damage really. It's really tanky. I got 1100 and a half. Or 11,000, not 1100. Now look, we're at the boss already. Big bird. I'll throw my totem down. Hit him with the Essence Drain, just more damage. And we'll just spam frogs. You can throw in this. Sigil power on the weapon swap. It's the only thing I use on the weapon swap. I know a lot of build guides don't really show weapon swapping. Or at least when you look at POE2 Ninja website. It's really easy though. I don't even look at modifiers on the map. I just Elk, Exalt, and go. It's a dot build. It plays like a dot build, but you see those frogs, they just murder everything. I throw out my Essence Drain, but I don't really use Contagion. It's not that great. We'll find something to kill. That cannot be all the abysses. I hate this map. This map is so trash. PoE needs to work on their map design choices because they're not very good. This will be Essence Drain here. Contagion, Essence Drain. It's slower than the frogs. Look at that. Frogs are way faster. Who wants to wait around for that shit? I honestly don't know how people play it. It's not a good skill anymore. It used to have big explosions back in the day. Back in POE1, but the AoE and the spread just kind of dissipates way too fast. Yeah, I can just stand in this. Yeah, give me that. Easy game. Home and light. People were like, oh, how expensive is the build? Well, I mean, Exalts are like 700 to 1 Divine almost. That's it? That was so weak. I need to hit the precursor thing. But yeah, it's easy build. My gear is pretty good because I started this build late in the league, swapped it over. I play a lot of different builds on the same ascendancy or the same character and switch ascendancies. The staff is probably the most expensive thing. I sanctified this and I did not craft it. I bought it like this before sanctification. I had another staff just like it without the increased spell damage. I sanctified that one and just sold it for 120 divs, so before I sold it. I sanctified this one. It was a success. So I sold the other one because this one's a little bit better. You know, chaos damage. I don't think you need the increased spell damage. You probably don't need the cast speed. Let's see, this doesn't have cast speed, so we'll just do a quick cast speed test. So this is without, what, 46% or 53. Like this is more than enough. Like, I don't understand the cast speed, to be honest. I think that drives the price of the item up by a fuck ton, because this is at that 55%. Yeah, it's faster, but you don't have the mana to sustain it. Like, you don't need the cast speed, I don't think. It's not giving you magical damage. I don't know. I think you could get a good staff really cheap if you cut out the cast speed. So I would do that if you're tight on a budget and you want to play this. Your helm, you're just looking for... all this gear is basically ES and resistances. So as high as you can afford or craft, you go efficiency in your helmet. My chest sucks, but it was expensive still. The reduced critical hit damage bonus is nice. You know, you want to survive. This build's tanky. I can do 200% delirium with Abyss, all that stuff. It's just a tad bit slower, and you gotta be careful. Some of those Abyss mobs are crazy inside the 200% delirium. And you've got your ring. I got a double rarity ring with some res and mana. Nothing special. Cast speed. So I think this is a caveat here. You can either get cast speed on your rings, which I have on both rings, which is going to be expensive, or you could probably get rid of the cast speed on your rings and just get on your staff. But I think it's cheaper to get on your rings and take it off the staff and get a better staff without cast speed. I think that's just an inflated, dumb thing you don't need. And that's just through playing and testing. Like, we did the swap, I showed you how different that was, and it's not huge. And you don't need to cast your despair that much, because you can only spawn so many frogs. Like, you can't spawn 1,000 frogs, so if you're casting more, it's not going to be beneficial. Diminishing returns. Amulet, yeah. I don't really give a fuck about it. +4. Don't need Spirit, because if you wanted to put another buff on, it would be Convalescence, and you would need another 30 Spirit, so you could get it on your Amulet. This Amulet works for me. It's fine. It also has cast speed. Like I said, cast speed. Crazy. I was just following, you know, the build. Belt, mana res. Who cares? Easy belt. Put a fucking headhunter on, man, or put a mage blood on. Golden. Cool thing about this ascendancy, you get to wear a focus, so we're gonna go for the plus level of all skills. More cast speed. You're getting 50% of that, so you're getting 15% cast speed. I would hope you're getting a +2 still. Some chaos damage. There's some other cool focuses. What's that? Rapis or something like that might work good in this build. I don't know how it works because it costs life to use and we don't have life. I don't know if that kills you or not. The boots are pretty much mandatory. This is what makes frogs feel good. Curses have no activation delay. So right when you cast this, frogs are hopping out. Bam, right? Alright. Let those frogs go away. We're going to take the boots off and show you. You could play without the boots, theoretically. But let's see the difference. Yeah, I don't think so. Not if you want the build to feel good. You see how long those frogs took to come up? Too long. Gloves, basic. You could get, I think, on one... Oh, instead of this cast speed, you could get the extra damage is chaos, and you could get extra damage as cold damage, because you want your chaos damage to freeze. So that would be a good replacement on your staff. Don't mind my inventory. We all play like this, right? Okay. I'm not going to go over skilled gems too much, but Blasphemy and Temp Chains, important. Weathering Presence, important. I didn't have enough spirit to put in Mysticism. If you had another 15 spirit, You could put Mysticism in here. Essence Drain, it's cool because a little bit of extra damage and it chains, bounces around. Dark Effigy, big monster packs, or bosses. Just a little bit of extra damage, you know? Contagion, we could probably just get rid of Contagion. You know what? We'll just get rid of Contagion because I don't need it. Despair with your Dodre, your Zenith, your Impending Doom, Spell Cascade, and Overabundance. You know, you want that +1 skill limit. +1 skill limit can be nice for this build. Some people are playing it with a wand and a focus, and the wand would have, you know, your +4 or 5 skills, your spell damage, and you would have +1 limit. But this works. I mean, you don't need it. Elemental Weakness. I'm only using this on Weapon Swap for 2 because in the skill tree we like cut enemies' life regen. I don't know that I particularly like it because I'm gonna over curse. I'm gonna have the temp chains and the despair going, so I don't really get to keep this on the enemies. But to counter their life regen would be nice. I haven't figured out what to put on Weapon Swap 2. Ravenous Swarm, I don't know if this is worth having on. You could probably go with something else. If you get some strength in the build, you could go with Overwhelming Presence, or you could turn your Convalescence on if you're taking too much damage, which you shouldn't be taking a lot of damage on this build because this right here, you know, you're going to get armor added, determining your physical damage reduction from your armor based on your energy shield. Your energy shield recharge rate is pretty fast with this, and I don't even use this. Is useless. So unless you're using a unique time loss jewel, you could take this out and go for, I think, Navira as well instead of your Convalescence. And then you could have some energy shield regen through this node right here. Navira Fracturing, that's just Chilled Ground. You could go Chilled Ground. I don't know. You can play around with this. If you have a crap ton of mana, which I don't think you're going to fit in the build. I got a lot of mana on a couple pieces of gear, I do believe. Yeah, 195, 138, 132, 93... Don't need that life roll, 103, and like getting a lot of mana takes a lot of investment in a different way. So I don't think that taking elemental damage from mana, especially because we're such a mana heavy build. And I've got 15% increased cost efficiency on Helm, and I also have on this ring 31% increased mana cost efficiency, and we still chunk. But I mean, you could just go through mapping. Click, 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 use your mana pot. I haven't figured out anyway. I mean, you could put cost efficiency in for mapping, I suppose, on here instead of, maybe instead of overabundance. Maybe. Anyways, I like the frog build. This shit rocks. You should play it. And I'll leave the link in the description. This is my first YouTube video, and no one's going to watch it. I've been playing POE for a very long time.